There's many people in the world that suffer from chronic health conditions, chronic pain, things that go on for a very long time, and they're really challenging. And I'm one of them. You know, I suffer with a chronic health condition, a chronic pain condition. And I wanted to make a video about what to do when it's seen and realized that awakening and meditation, non-dual insights, will not heal your chronic pain. Now, that's not the case for everybody. There are some people that report that when they've had these deep awakening insights, that their chronic condition goes away. And that's really wonderful. But there are lots of us, I mean a lot of us, for whom that's not the case. And it feels important to communicate to those of us in that camp, you know, that have got a condition that is, in a way, impervious to deep spiritual insights. Now, that doesn't mean that the path of awakening or non-dual clarity, all of that stuff isn't really beneficial. It is, and it can really help us to be with our experience. It's definitely helped me. Like, it's helped me to just be with my experience with so much more compassion and understanding, and to feel deeply what's going on. But what it hasn't done is cured my illness. It hasn't done that. And I know many people for whom that's also the case. So what to do? Well, first of all, it's important to recognize if we've been pinning our hopes on a way out through awakening, because that in itself can lead to a load of suffering. So if you're a chronic pain sufferer or a chronic illness sufferer, and you have been for many years, and you've heard of this thing called awakening, and these deep meditative practices and whatever they are, and you've been pinning hopes on the fact that, oh, this is going to cure me, it's going to fix it all. It's important to recognize that. Like I said, I'm not saying it won't, but for many of us, it doesn't. It doesn't do that. And whilst we're holding on to hope that this is going to take away all of my pain, you know, this path of awakening, then it can cause so much suffering and striving. It can also make us think that we're doing awakening wrong. We're doing the path of awakening wrong because I'm still in pain. So I haven't woke up enough, which is again, it's like a further level of pain and suffering piled on top of an already painful experience. So yeah, just notice if there's a projection that I'm going to get to a place where I have woke up enough and all of my long-lasting pain condition, long-lasting illness will go away. Because there's a very good chance that won't happen. So if that's the case, as it is the case for me, what to do? What can we do? Well, first of all, it feels like, speaking to others is really, really helpful. I think what a lot of that movement of trying to wake up through my pain, trying to wake up past my illness, what it does is it puts a lot of pressure on me. It makes me feel like it's all my responsibility to get rid of this pain, to heal myself, let's say. And when it doesn't work, it can result in shame, actually. It can result in quite a lot of internal disharmony and further suffering, and then more striving. It's like, oh, I need to try harder to wake up more, you know. So speaking to others can help share the load. It can help reduce that pressure on us and on our nervous systems, on our body, to just go through this alone. And that very action of speaking to others, and maybe asking for help from others as well, you know, speaking to people and saying, listen, this is my capacity at the moment and I can't do certain things. Can you help me? Can you provide me with support? That has been crucial for me. because although it hasn't healed, like totally got rid of my condition, what it has done is it's taken so much pressure off me as an organism, me as an individual to fix it all. And as you can probably feel into, that's helped healing. It's just allowed myself and my body to relax a little bit more, to carry a little less tension, carry a little less striving. So yeah, if you are going through chronic pain conditions and you've been putting a lot of pressure on yourself to fix it, well, recognize that and speak to people about that. Ask for help if you can. Recognize that there's certain things that maybe you can't do. That's been a difficult one for me as well, and definitely one of the most important aspects of me being able to live with this condition is really admitting what I can and can't do. And that's hard. That's really hard, because there is an imagined view of what I want to be in the world, and it's normally based on a combination of past experiences and a bit of false belief and maybe messages in the world. But the idea that I should be here, I should be operating like this. But what's become really apparent is that that's not possible. I cannot operate at that level. So being able to admit that to myself, first of all, has been really, really challenging. Such a strong grieving process associated with that. But it's been crucial in order for me to, again, kind of paradoxically heal a little bit. By admitting what I can't do, I've been able to explore what I can do. And that's been really, really important. Instead of putting pressure on myself to do everything and not being able to, recognizing that I can't do everything, but what I can do is tend to this experience with gentleness and speak to others and ask for support. Another thing that's really helped me when recognizing that this path of awakening it's not curing, it will not cure my chronic illness, is looking just very simply into the things I do in life, my habits, my daily routine, and looking at how that affects me, just with honesty. I think what I was trying to do was, and again, I guess you could call this spiritual bypassing really, by trying to wake up through the illness, wake up past the illness, I wasn't tending to the needs of my body. So I was just putting myself into overwhelm again and again, and it would just result in so much pain and exhaustion. So by really recognizing, like I mentioned before, what the truth of what's going on, and tending to my energy resources, my plans for the day, my pacing, my scheduling, and just recognizing what I can't do, backing off on things, and then keeping a note of when I've done too much. So if let's say I go to the cinema, I take a bus into the city and I go to the cinema and I watch a movie and then maybe go for a cup of tea with a friend afterwards and come back. Now that might seem like not an awful lot to a very healthy, able person, but actually, in my current experience, that's a lot. The energy expenditure of that is a lot. And whilst there's a view that I should be able to do it, then I'm unable to tend to it with care. But whilst opening to it with a bit of curiosity and gentleness, I've been able to recognize, okay, that was quite a lot. Maybe I can spend the next day really relaxing, really recuperating my energy. Notice that 5 hours of activity was enough, more than enough for that day. And now I need to rest and recuperate. As opposed to what I would do in the past is I need to do it again. I need to do more. I need to keep building and growing, and getting more and more capacity. And that might be true over time, but it's a long haul and it takes a lot of patience. So yeah, changing the way in which I pace my life, changing the way in which I schedule, saying to people very clearly, I can't do that. I'm not doing it And these are the reasons why it's been really powerful for me. It's just been so helpful, because it's just given my body and really my heart and mind the space to just relax, to just, maybe for the first time, truly rest, as opposed to try to live up to an impossible standard. Now, there might be some supplements you can take as well. Diet's been helpful for me. I've kind of reduced gluten in my diet and reduced sugar in my diet. This is just for me. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying that these are some of the changes that I've made, practical changes that have helped with inflammation and pain in my body. But the exploration of the different things we do and consume, our activities, the food we eat, the way in which we engage with the world, just really practical stuff, I think is really important for living a life of relative ease with a chronic illness. And this is the stuff that's kind of, it runs alongside the path of awakening. They're not exclusive to each other, but we're no longer deluding ourselves to think that I'm going to wake up through this. This awakening is going to cure this. Well, actually, the thing that I need, or the thing that my body needs, my illness needs, is not just an awake, open heart. It is that. But it's not just that. It's also really practical things, really, practical, tender, scheduled, experiential things that are going to support me to be in the world with ease. And that in itself is, it's kind of the will of an awake, open heart. So they do go hand in hand. But I wanted to share this just because I know there's a lot of us that have chronic illness, that suffer, that find it very challenging, and that are on the path of awakening, and that may believe that this path of awakening will fix it all, and yet they're finding that it's not quite going like that. If that is you, as it is the case for me, well, that's okay. That's all right. You can continue on the path of awakening, but it's definitely worthwhile to explore different ways of supporting ourselves through this illness, as opposed to pinning all our hopes on this one spiritual revelation, let's say. I hope you found this helpful, and if you've got any questions or you want to share your experience, I'd love to hear that.